wide range of tools to use in the fire service. One of the most practical and used tools in the fire service is going to be the fire axe. Our fire axe is typically carried in a scabbard, and it is most commonly found on our truck apparatus, our ladder trucks. Put that back down. In today's speech, we're going to be diving in a little bit into the fire axe itself, talking about the tradition of being gifted a fire axe or just purchasing one as your own as a fireman, and its importance to me and its purpose. Let's dive into these points in order to highlight many of the great things about my favorite tool in the fire service. So with a brief history on the fire axe, axes in human history go back to the Stone Ages. Whether they were made of copper or stone, obviously, people have been using them for a variety of reasons. In the fire service, we most often use these tools for things such as overhaul, one of the primary tools in search, a backup piece of equipment for our roof operations if a chainsaw's to bog down. And it's kind of endless in what we want to use these things for. That's why in many agencies this tool is required to be worn at all times by all members on a piece of equipment. The symbolism of the tool is one of the most recognizable tools in the fire service and even in the civilian sector. Every time somebody sees a fire axe, they make an association with heroism, courage, and bravery. And for us, it's just one of those familiar feelings that we get to have. One of those familiar feelings that we have when we're walking around the fire ground. Now that I've illustrated a piece of the significance and symbolism of my favorite tool, I would now like to elaborate on when and where I received it. So, I was fortunate enough to receive my fire axe as a gift. I didn't have to go out and spend my own money and try to acquire a tool like this. My father is also a fireman, and he understands the significance of a tool and having something that's always going to protect you on fire. The tradition of being gifted tools dates back to the early years of firefighting, guys passing down family heirlooms or being the first of the generation to take care of an item, preserve it, and continue the tradition and upkeep of what we have here in the fire service, of our equipment. Gifted versus bought, if I was to go back, I would much rather still prefer to have it gifted rather than have bought it on my own. I think there's a little bit more meaning and weight that comes with being gifted a tool, especially something that can save your life. There's almost an inherent spiritual value to a tool like this. I know it's kind of corny to say, but it almost feels like whoever purchased that for you is always with you on the fire ground. At first, I'd explain the general perception and commonly shared feelings towards the fire axe through the lens of the fire service, as well as my own personal views on being gifted tools. Finally, I will now speak on the importance and purpose that I hold near and dear to my heart. So one of the biggest things with having my own tool is that I always know I have something that's going to protect my own life. There's never a doubt in my mind that if I walk into a door, I'm going to be, where's my axe? What can't I do here? What am I missing? I can always kind of lean towards having this thing on my hip. It's just like carrying a pair of wire cutters, a carabiner, or a piece of webbing. Like I elaborated on a little bit earlier, we have endless uses for our tools here in the fire service, especially the fire axe. And then for me, super personal is that I have a family brand on my tool, and I can potentially hand this down to future generations. So in conclusion, this is my favorite object. Went over a brief history, talked about why it's important to me, tradition of being gifted tools, and what it was. That's it.